Good morning. It is 9:46 a.m. Wow, that late. On Friday, July 5th, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Slept in, obviously. As I did yesterday, I intend for this to be a work-from-home day. I have stuff to do. I did get a lot done yesterday, which is good, which, I'm very happy about, but also, gosh, what was I actually trying to say about that? I mean, obviously, a day off is nicer than a work day, but I got a lot done, and that feels good. Hopefully today will be similar. But one of the things that I also did while I was working yesterday was I managed to I guess, part of it was while I was working. I binged the entire new season of Stranger Things, season 3. So let me briefly summarize, I guess, how I feel about this show generally, like going in to season 3. Season 1, I think that I had a little bit of a rubber band reaction to it in the sense that I loved it during it, but then I kind of started feeling a little bit afterwards like I had a complex reaction afterwards, and I wasn't sure why exactly. In fact, I've not actually given this enough thought to have it clear in my own mind. But I loved it. I think it was a little bit like feelings about Ready Player One, where I am absolutely the target age range for all of its pop culture references and this idea that it's sort of evoking movies of the mid-'80s, right? These adventure movies like, E.T. and Goonies and all of these sorts of things, and then combining them with horror. And like all of those things are in my wheelhouse, so to speak. Like I am the market for those things. And so like Ready Player One, I am an easy target for nostalgia, jabs. And in that sense, I get that initial rush. But I guess what happens afterwards is after that fades a little bit, I start feeling like, was I just pandered to? And with Ready Player One, although it has many good things about it, there are also some stuff that once you get past that nostalgia rush, you start going, the book more than the movie in that sense. But with Stranger Things, I don't think that it has any, like, it's obviously trying to do a very specific thing, and it accomplishes that. And yet, I guess what I was just left wondering afterwards was, is there anything more to it than that? Or is it just a neat trick? Is it just like, wow, that was interesting, now we're done? I don't know. That's kind of how I felt after season 1. I enjoyed it, but was left wondering if I had experienced anything more than kind of a superficial nostalgia rush. Season 2 definitely deepened the characters in some interesting ways, but it also had them doing a lot of stuff that didn't feel organic to their character. It felt like it was contrived in order to produce the plot mechanisms they needed. Now, that's not to say there weren't lots of great things about it. Sean Astin as Bob was great. For example, there's lots of good stuff in it, but by and large, I think season two was not as effective. So it kind of had the contradictory reaction of showing that the show is more than just the nostalgia rush, but in some ways being a little bit less effective as a result, because it's not as concentrated in that rush. But I am very happy to report that in my personal opinion, Stranger Things Season 3 hits the sweet spot. Oh, it's great. I loved it. I think it is my favorite of the 3 seasons. I will say, I will caution, I think it gets off to a little bit of a rocky start. Before the real meat of the conflict kicks in, some of the character-based stuff rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but some of it feels just like, this is a tired old joke. And then some of the other stuff is like, why are they working so hard to make us not like this guy anymore? And some of it's just frustrating and it feels kind of cheesy, and I don't know, it's like some of the character-based stuff right at the beginning just really didn't work for me at all, and I was very frustrated. But thankfully, that fades as the season goes on. Without spoiling the details, I will say that there is a major new thing introduced in this season that never really stops feeling cheesy to me, because by and large, one of the things that was really kind of cool about seasons 1 and 2 is how grounded it feels. Like, obviously we're evoking these 80s kids action movies and stuff like that, but by and large, except for the addition of these supernatural elements, everything feels kind of real, right? Whereas this season introduces something that definitely feels much more like a movie staple than anything that would really happen. And yeah, and I mean to a very large degree. But once you can kind of get past that and allow the switch to flip in your head and just accept it, which I did, I think it is definitely less grounded in reality than the first 2 seasons. But once you can kind of accept that, okay, well, that's what they're doing this season, that's okay. Once you can get there, boy, some of the stuff is so good. It's, I think the way it moves all the characters around feels more organic than the last time. We get great hero moments from a whole bunch of different characters. There's a couple of different places where, yes, sitting alone by myself in my apartment in front of my computer, I cheered out loud. Some great action, some hard choices. So on the whole, I think season 3 is my favorite of the 3. So despite starting off a little uneven, I would say once, once you get into like episode 3-ish, all of the stuff that bothers me is left behind, and it's just the great stuff from there, in my opinion. So that's what I think about Stranger Things Season 3. So in the meantime, I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.